This is Call of Duty Black Ops 6. We're doing a comparison. On the left, we have Xbox Series X. On the right, we have the Xbox One. These videos are a ton of work to put together, so be sure to like the video. Subscribing is great as well. So here we are taking a look at the current gen versus the last gen with a couple different segments. Some a little bit more cinematic in nature, some a bit combat driven, just so you get a couple different scenarios and can see the differences between these two console models and get an idea of just what the quality is like. We did this last year, and I'm still kind of doing it with the Xbox One occasionally for the odd review thing, just to kind of see the big difference. And I think Call of Duty is a pretty big showcase of something where they do work magic in regards to keeping that full scale experience between consoles despite the generation continuing to widen over time, and it's really quite interesting to do these. So on the left we have the Series X, which is a dynamic 4K resolution at 60 FPS. On the right we have a 900p kind of threshold resolution scaling at 60 FPS-ish. There are drops on the Xbox One and some stutters occasionally when things get a little overwhelming, and quite a bit of kind of slowdown for loading everything up. Now I will say, compared to what we had in the previous year with Modern Warfare 3.2, it does seem like, especially during the in-game cinematics as opposed to the kind of pre-rendered cinematics, it does seem like the full scale fidelity and everything like that is actually pretty sharp on the Xbox One. Last year's version, there were segments where, and we see that again, where some of the clothing is a little bit different between certain characters or background actors and everything like that, but that just might be dynamic scenes. But it is kind of cool that the full kind of character models are present. Like last year's version, there were arms that wouldn't load in for certain characters in some segments, and it was really interesting to see. That's why these comparisons are so fun, is getting an idea of just the sacrifices they have to make this work, and just how different these versions can be between console gens. But I mean, there is a big fidelity change. It's very noticeable on a 4K. I don't know if you'll notice it as much based on what screen you're kind of using, but there is a large resolution difference between the two. A lot of hair, face, the items and stuff in the environment, such as playing cards or even the fabrics of characters, have a much lower resolution threshold on the Xbox One. You can see quite a big difference, and these comparisons, they kind of make it a little, they're tighter and everything like that for video editing, so you can actually see them, but it is quite a gap in resolution, and it is very noticeable just when you play one and then you play the other, and you're like, oh, okay, that's a very, very big difference between the two here. I love that casino level. Very, very beautiful resolution. Believe it or not, these two scenes do actually line up pretty well when it gets to the actual casino portion. I was blown away with myself, actually, how well these lined up. Just throwing it out there. Very, very cool scenario and setup. And I thought this kind of gave you a little bit of action, a little bit of the cinematics, and just an idea of how this is kind of shaping up between the two versions. I would say I'm really impressed with the Xbox One version. Obviously, Series X is clean, it's sharp, it looks fantastic from a visual fidelity standpoint. They did a great job on the aesthetics and the color range and everything like that. The Xbox One also doesn't seem to have the full color range, which makes sense because it's an HD pushing kind of thing as opposed to 4K. That's something that's also noticeable too. But I do want to mention, same capture, same TV, same scenarios, same setup, same chords. It's just kind of the output of what you get from the Xbox One versus the Series X in these scenarios, which is kind of cool. So I hope this kind of gave you an idea of how the two are looking and comparing between one another. I think this kind of shaped up really well in terms of a comparison, giving you an idea between the two and just sort of the scale and the style of what they're going for. I would say it seems like they're kind of safe for a little bit longer in regards to making these two kind of work. A little bit safer than they were in the previous year, because I was at that point, I was sitting there kind of thinking that there needs to be a cutoff right away. Whereas I guess cross-gen wise, this year's version, I don't know if it's just a little tighter in scale, which makes it easier. It kind of works out well enough, and it's pretty decently comparable, all things considered. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed. I'll leave some non-commentary gameplay so you can see more of an action. And again, liking the video is great, subscribing is great as well, and I'll see you in Call of Duty Black Ops 6.
Marshal, your time to shine. Win that table and you'll have access to the High Roller Lounge. My new friend here is so generous. He keeps giving me all his chips.
Where I'm from, we teach our kids to win with grace and humility.
I'm afraid you are not in Kansas anymore, Dorothy. This is a game for adults, not school children. That bar is mine.
I got a camera feed behind that schmuck. Time to turn your luck around.
We here to talk or play cards?
Bet. Go.
A fearless American does not know when to take a bow, huh?
Bet.
I can't see his damn cards. Shake things up a little.
My opponent is not only fearless, but quite possibly insane.
He's got 9 and 10 of clubs. Nothing there. Raise.
Raise.
Such confidence.
Call.
Should I practice merci, ma chérie? Huh?
He's bluffing. He still ain't got shit.
Signore Bado checks.
Raise it.
Signore Marshall bets.
You got this, motherfucker.
Call. And now, the final card.
His only chance is... God damn, lucky bastard got us straight.
All in.
Sev, do your thing. Marshall, whatever's up your sleeve, time to use it.
Your drink, signore.
Oh, you must be...
I'm so sorry, sir. Please, let me help.
What are you doing?
I'm terribly
Stop.
sorry.
You're making it worse. Just leave me alone, huh?
Oh, man. You need a minute?
No. Just go away. Continue the game.
All in. Gentlemen, showdown please. 4 jacks.
What?
Signor Marshall wins.
How did this happen? Yeah.
Good game. Moving to the High Roller Lounge. What? You see the pit boss in there?
He's there. Got a key card hanging right off his ass.
That's what we need. Once I get in and create the distraction, I'll grab the card and hand it off to Felix.
Felix, you in position? Of course.